Hello! Today we're going to start our new unit, 6.1.2. So remember that means grade 6, first module, second part. And it is about rates and proportions. Don't forget your name, Math 6, whatever date you're taking these notes. And our essential question or learning target, I can identify the unit rate when given a ratio. So let's start with a couple vocabulary words. Rate. Rate is actually the same thing as a ratio. It's a numerical comparison of two quantities. So it's a ratio of two quantities. And generally we see the word per, like there is $6 per 12-pack of soda, or 12-pack of soda per $6. A unit rate, however, is a special rate where one number, and it's usually the denominator, is 1. So it'll be something per 1. In this slash, we say per, like miles per hour. All right, so the first example, we're going to be naming the rate and the unit rate and answering a question about it. So the rate is given right in the problem. 4 cases for $10. 4 cases cost $10. How much does 1 case cost? So because I want that 1 in the bottom, and I generally do this where I always write my money on the top. So it's $10 per 4 cases. And the unit rate is going to be per 1 case. So you have to think to yourself, what would I have to multiply or divide by? So it's equivalent. It's just going back to what we did in the last unit, equivalent ratios. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 10 divided by 4 is what? So you can use a calculator, but you can also do this over the side or just take 10 over 4 and simplify. That's 5 over 2, and 1/2 of 5 is $2.50. So $2.50 for 1 case. Now we can answer this question. Now that we have our unit rate, we want to know how much 10 cases would cost. So if I have my unit rate, $2.50 over 1 case, or per 1 case. Now we want to know how many 10 cases are going to be. So we would multiply that 1 by 10. So we have to do the same thing on the top. And again, use that calculator. 250 10 times is $25. So our answer would be 10 cases cost $25. All right, next problem. Daisy bought 4 games for $65. One of them was for her friend who was going to pay her back. How much would Elijah owe Daisy? So the first thing we have to do is find the rate. So my rate, and again, I always write that number, that is the amount on the top. So $65 for 4 games. But Elijah only really was buying one of them. So we want to know how much it is per 1 game. So like before, we are going to 4 divided by 4 is 1. 65 divided by 4 is how much? We don't know. So please use a calculator. But I'm going to show you the long way again, just to get thinking of dividing. 4 goes into 6 2 times. 4 goes into 6 1 time. And then I'm going to subtract down. 4 goes into 25 6 times with 1 left over. So now it's like 16 and 1/4. 1/4 as a decimal is 16.25. So that means, and we always want to remember to answer the question, Elijah owes Daisy $16.25. So for both of these problems, we're starting with the rate or the ratio, and we're making it into unit rate with 1 on the bottom. All right, let's start practicing with miles per hour. We don't talk about hours per mile, we talk about miles per hour. And we're going to write the rate and the unit rate for each person. Ollie goes 208 miles per 4 hours. Kaya goes 300 miles per 6 hours. And Jack, he travels 265 miles in 5 hours. And remember, for all of these, our unit rate is per 1 mile. No, per 1 hour. So we're looking for per 1 hour, miles per hour. So again, use a calculator if you so choose. If not, I'm going to be doing this off to the side. Why don't you pause and see if you can do the arithmetic, either using a calculator or not using a calculator, to see if we come up with the same thing. All right, this is what I came up with. Except this I wrote wrong. It's a 50. So Ollie was traveling 52 miles per hour, Kaya 50 miles per hour, and Jack 53 miles per hour. So hopefully you know, and this is just kind of common sense, the further they went per hour, the greater their speed. So you know, if you're with your parents and they're going 53 miles an hour, it's faster than 50 miles an hour. So Jack drove the fastest. So Jack was the fastest. How far did Kaya travel in 30 minutes? So I'm going to come over here to find my unit rate. Kaya drove 50 miles in 1 hour. We want to know how much in 30 minutes. 30 minutes is 1/2 of an hour. So I need to divide that 1 by 2. I'm going to divide that 50 by 2 to get 25 miles per half an hour. And then we're going to look at Jack. Jack can travel 53 miles in 2 hours. Sorry, in 1 hour. So we want to know how far he can travel in 2 hours. So this one is a little easier because you're just multiplying by 2. 1 times 2 is 2, and 53 times 2. And we can do that off to the side if you don't have a calculator. 106 miles per 2 hours. So again, it's important to remember when you're finding that unit rate, you might be dividing or multiplying, depending, and when you're answering questions, you're doing the same. So this is very similar to last unit when we were finding equivalent ratios. Please write down a couple questions in column 2 and finish this summary for me on what this topic is about. Thanks.